A year ago I had a vision, a revelation. As I was going about my daily routine, I was struck by how people are fighting, shouting abuse at one another, or actual physical fighting, with people getting wounded and maimed. And even for entertainment, some people fight and then others watch them have a go at it, because apparently we enjoy the spectacle of violence. I was awed by how a callous few take everyone's money and then sell the story of how they did that back to the public and make even more money. I was thinking how tourists circle the globe, but those that aren't tourists are made to walk on. Animals are routinely slaughtered. The oceans are emptied out. And these things are accepted because people seem to accept everything. They think bad is good and everyday violence is inevitable. As I was thinking about the state we're in, I felt myself slip into a state of despair. I was wondering what happens to a society in which the rivers of blood are made to flow by the greed of a few and the convictions of many. And it seemed to me that at some point in history we have lost sight of something. And then I wondered, what could that something be? And then it struck me. Who is the third who walks always beside you? What are these sounds so that in the midst of the night you hear the floors creak and you hear your neighbors sing? Why do you feel like singing when you feel your heart sink? Why is there something and not nothing? Why think about the how and why at all? Scientists explore the vastness of space, or the equally vast and incomprehensible world of quantum mechanics. But what can they say except that the living things live because of the way the cosmos is organized? There is something and not nothing. That much they know. But why? Even if one day scientists may be able to tell us how they think the cosmos is organized, science will never be able to tell us why it is organized at all, or who has organized it. Because when you ask, what has organized the cosmos? The answer to that question inevitably leads to an originator, because to think no one has organized it is, well, what? If the cosmos is merely a fantastic coincidence to be studied by science, then our lives mean nothing. If we live these lives because we just happen to be here, then everything is allowed. And if everything is allowed, then nothing is of any value. These days, a lot of people seem to think that indeed everything is allowed. The people will think up reasons for their behavior, but these reasons are merely justifications for their dubious actions. The rich and their henchmen tell us our world is merely a bizarre coincidence, and so we are confronted with the destruction of the earth and with the murder of all living things. And it is presented as entertainment. Or if the destruction isn't sold back to us as entertainment, then it is presented as a way to make more money. And since money is king, the destruction is deemed necessary. However, when you ask, why is there something and not nothing? And when you think, well, maybe there is an originator, and it's not all coincidence, and our lives do mean something that goes beyond our individual experience, then a door opens that leads to a way out of the madness. That is what I saw. And it is like this. At some point, the universe came into existence. So let's assume that first there was nothing, and then there was something. Obviously, a change happened in between when from nothing came something. In that moment between nothing and something, a Godhead came into existence. That Godhead is called the Unity. The Unity has opened up and materialized into the visible world. The body of the Godhead became the universe. And at that same moment when time began, the mind of this Godhead transformed into the invisible world, called the cosmic awareness. To the Godhead, this act of transformation was as mysterious as it is to us. So now the cosmic awareness is gathering information from the ever-fragmenting universe. And there will come a time when the Godhead is either satisfied or fed up, and then it will end its division between the universe and the cosmic awareness. At that moment, this divine fragmentation will be reversed. The Godhead will become whole again, and time will end. And everything that once was fragmented will again be contained in this Godhead we call the Unity. All that now is or ever has been will return to the source. And that means that if we ask the question, why is there something and not nothing? The answer is, there is something because the Godhead we call the Unity is trying to learn. She is in the process of understanding herself. And from this it follows that we, the people on this earth, supply the Godhead with information. So now we have to decide, do we want this Godhead to be informed about cruelty, about greed and despair, about violence and destruction? Do we want to inform the Godhead about the way we are wasting our time? You might think there aren't any gods, or how can I know if there is this Godhead? Or even just, what's the difference? And the answer to that is that obviously there is something, and the way we, the living things, act goes out into the universe and feeds information to the cosmic awareness. And this information brings about a change. And if you accept that you are what makes up this universe, and if you accept that there is a Godhead that is learning from your experiences, then it matters that you too are connected to the other things that are out there. And then it obviously matters what the quality of that connection is. It matters how you connect to the universe, to the other living things, to the things that are not living and not dead. It matters how you view the wealth and how you regard the beauty. It matters how you listen to the voices that are out there. It matters how you treat your fellow beings. And it matters whether you supply the Godhead with information on how cruel, angry and stupid people can be, or if you tell the Godhead about strength, courage and wisdom. So why is there something and not nothing? And the answer is, because there is this Godhead we call the Unity, and she wants to know what she can be. And therefore, she needs to know who you are. There is a Godhead, and she is reaching out from the darkness, trying to connect to you. This is why there is something that moves whenever you move. This is why there are these sounds, so that in the midst of night you hear the floors creak and you hear your neighbors sing. This is why you feel like singing, even though most of the times you feel your heart sink. This is why we as people need to rethink the how and why of it all. We need to change the way society is organized so that the evil gets dispelled. After all, there is something and not nothing. And so we must inform the Godhead of the many ways in which we can make the rivers of love and beauty flow.